Hello and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I will be showcasing a strong team that I got to 2,500 in ELO with in Open Great League, and you can probably get to Veteran with it. It consists of Jirachi lead, pelliper safe swap, and Scrafty cover, creating a balanced ABC team. I will show the team's overview and strategy, how to play the most common leads, and a set of battles. Also, before I get into the video, I just want to say that this YouTube's channel Discord server is open and available. In the server, you will find resources for almost every Go Battle League, including meta-analyses, strong teams, and how to play them with articles and slides. Plus, there's early content and monthly self-tournaments. Anyways, I'll start with the video. Jirachi catches fairy types like Azumarill and Alolan Ninetales, flying types like Skarmory, Tropius, and Altaria, psychic types like Cresselia, fighting types, and ice types like Abomasnow. It is weak to steel, ground, fire, dark, and ghost types. Scrafty covers Jirachi almost perfectly, having the fighting type for darks and steels, and the dark type for ghost. It also has the bulk and power, boosted with Pyro Punch, to take on many neutral matchups and win. Pelliper is a great safe swap. It covers Jirachi from its fire and ground weaknesses, and Scrafty from its fighting weaknesses, and can quickly get to Weather Ball and keep up shield pressure. 2 notes. 1. You don't actually have to double move your Jirachi. Just having Doom Desire is actually fine. 2. You can switch the lead to Scrafty to do better against Bastion leads, as otherwise they are quite tough. However, having Scrafty on the lead makes Altaria and Charmeleon leads tougher. Galarian Stunfisk on the lead, swap to Pelliper. Azumarill lead, stay in. Shield if they build up to Hydro Pump, 7 bubbles. If it is Hydro Pump, you win the matchup going straight Doom Desire. If the shielded move is not Hydro Pump, I like to catch the Hydro Pump on Pelliper. If you did not count the fast moves, you could also swap right away to Pelliper. Against Skarmory lead, stay in and match shields. Against Shadow Machamp lead, stay in because they will most likely swap out. Against Alolan Ninetales, stay in as well and match shields. You can overfarm quite a lot if they stay in. Alolan Marowak on the lead is a bit tough, so swap to Pelliper and hope that shields get down so Scrafty can clean up. Medicham on the lead, stay in and match shields. If you see a Scrafty on the lead, swap to Pelliper. Grass types on the lead usually means it's a good lead, and against Meganium lead, swap to Pelliper if they successfully bait Earthquake with Frenzy Plant. If it is Shiftry, swap to Pelliper immediately. Against Cresselia lead, stay in and match shields. Against Politoed and Whiscash lead, swap to Pelliper. If you see a Pelliper on the lead, stay in and match shields. In the Zero Shield, or if they don't shield the first Doom Desire, swap to Pelliper. If they do shield the Doom Desire, shield in kind and take out the Pelliper. Bastion on the lead is quite tough, because Pelliper actually loses against Bastion. What I like to do is try to catch a Flamethrower on Pelliper after throwing a Doom Desire on the 7th Smackdown. If you see an Umbreon on the lead, swap to Pelliper. If you see Galvantula on the lead, I like to take the matchup to the 2 shields, where Galvantula actually loses, since most Galvantulas shield twice as well. If you see a Shadow Hypno on the lead, stay in and match shields. Shield if they build up to Shadow Ball, or 5 confusions. In the first match, my opponent, 12 Lemoris 98, leads a Bastion. So Jirachi soft loses to Bastion, and so does Pelliper. So what I have to do here is try to catch a Flamethrower, which I'm able to do. I catch the flamethrower on my pelliper, and as an instinctual response or muscle memory or whatever it is, my opponent immediately swaps instead of staying in to deal some chip damage into a Meganium. Now, I'm actually going to shield this Frenzy Plant and go straight for the Hurricane because most grass types usually don't shield the first move because a lot of Pellipers bait with Weather Ball, and it lands and does a lot of damage, taking out the Meganium. And when the Bastion comes in, I'm able to get a Weather Ball off as nice chip damage, and I can align my Scrafty to this Bastion. And when they realize that I have alignment, they surrender because most Bastion teams really need good alignment. In this match here, my opponent, Raya, it seemed, leads Tropius. This is a favorable lead for me, so they swap into a Deoxys defense. Now this is a slightly neutral matchup, and I cannot swap right away into either of my Pokemon, so I'm gonna do some chip damage to the Deoxys defense and swap into my Pelipper. I do have to shield this move as it is Thunderbolt, and Pelipper will get one-shotted by that, having a double weakness to Electric. And so I'm just gonna throw the Weather Ball just after a tiny bit of overfarming because I don't want my opponent to get to another move. And if my opponent brings in the Tropius, I know I can get a shield off by throwing Hurricane. And I'm not going to bait or anything because I know I can't get to a Hurricane after I bait with Weather Ball. So I'm just going to go straight for the Hurricane. And I do get the shield back, so that's great. And I have switch advantage. So I can bring in my Jirachi into this Tropius now. They swap into a Galarian Stunfisk, and I have my Scrafty ready for it. And I'm just going to throw this Power Punch right away, vamping up my attack right away so that the counters deal lots of damage. And my opponent throws a move. It is Earthquake and it does a lot of damage, but the great thing is, if you throw a Power Punch right away, Scrafty can take every single move the Galarian Stunfisk throws at it and survive and come out with energy, just barely. So I have a Foul Play ready for the Tropius, which would take it out from this range since it has Power Up Punch boosted attack. And the Tropius does shield, and so when they throw the move, I'm just going to shield in kind, throw the Doom Desire, and take out the Tropius. Good game, well played. On the third match here against Sword Warriors, my opponent leads Medicham. So this is slightly neutral of a matchup, and Jirachi wins in all even shield scenario, even if the Medicham goes straight Power Punch. And so it's looking pretty good right now. I'm just going to throw this Doom Desire, and Desire does a lot of damage, good chunk. And they're throwing another Power Punch. And I go for another Doom Desire, knowing I can't farm down the Medicham, and the Medicham does shield. So I have shield advantage now, and I'm gonna try to keep my shield advantage. So when my Pelipper comes in, I'm not gonna shield anything because I know it can't be a Psychic, and it's probably only an Ice Punch or a Power Up Punch. This is the Ice Punch. It does a lot of damage, but I can take out the Medicham. And in comes a Lantern, so I have to get out of there right away, and there's a Charm User. So I kind of just got hard countered there, so I just surrender. The fourth match against what seems to be Octavius, I'm not sure. My opponent leads Galarian Stunfisk. This is a horrible lead, so I'm going to swap immediately into my Pelipper, and my opponent responds with their own Pelipper, which makes me think that there's probably a Venusaur or like some sort of grass type in the back, which is a common line with Galarian Stunfisk League and Pelipper Safe Swap. So my opponent threw his Weather Ball here, and I know it's not a Hurricane because they reached it. They reached it before I got to Hurricane, and so they throw a second Weather Ball. I'm gonna shield, and instead of going for Hurricane, just in case they shield, I'm going to throw the Weather Ball. And I probably should have farmed down the pelliper, but it turns out okay because they actually died with the move and tried to get there by shielding. So a Venusaur comes in, and so I'm just gonna throw the Weather Ball and come in with my Jirachi. Jirachi resists all of Venusaur's moves, but they still hit pretty hard. But when they swap into their Galarian Stunfisk and respond with their Scrafty, they resign. In this match against Blitz Toti, I think, he leads Shadow Swampert. Horrible lead, and pretty tough at that too because it does neutral against Swampert. My opponent gives me a huge energy lead and then swaps into their own Pelipper. This time I decide not to bait, and it pays off because it lands unshielded, and my opponent probably expected a bait. So I only have to tank a Weather Ball. Unfortunately, I do, so I can't survive a Hydro Cannon from the Swampert. So they're gonna throw immediately, which was a pretty smart play, not allowing my Pelipper to get any moves off. And there's probably some hard grass contour in the back, like an Altaria or a Tropius. So now that I have alignment, it's looking pretty strong, as Jirachi being a Steel type does well against most flying types. I'm going to shield this Hydro Cannon, and out comes a Skarmory. So I'm going to swap immediately into my Jirachi now. And Jirachi wins against Skarmory, but it is kind of a neutral matchup, as they both deal resisted damage to each other. And my opponent has shield advantage, so they're probably going to win this matchup. And what I'm going to do is not shield my Jirachi, because I have a Foul Play stored on my Scrafty. And if I can get both shields with my Jirachi, then I'll be looking pretty good, as the Foul Play from my Scrafty will take out the Shadow Swampert. So my opponent doesn't shield the first one, but then shields the second. And they try to farm down, and Jirachi is able to hold on and get to another Doom Desire. And now that they shielded, I'm going to swap into my Scrafty, shield in kind, and if they try to swap into their Shadow Swampert, I can just go for a Foul Play and take it out. Skarmory comes back in, but it's too low to really do anything, so I take it out with my Scrafty. Good game, and well played. Thank you so much for watching. If this video helped you in any way or you enjoyed, make sure to press the subscribe button. It helps a lot. Anyways, thanks for watching. Peace.